Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. So today we're going to be having a sort of discussion type video talking about essentially the worst champion in League of Legends as of right now. I'll be giving you guys what I personally think is not only the worst champion in League of Legends by far, and if you ever see this champion on your team, you might as well just dodge because you probably lost regardless, and also statistically the worst champion in League of Legends as well, which luckily enough is actually the exact same champion. And I also want to ask you this exact question as well. Leave a comment down below. What do you think right now is the worst champion in League of Legends and why? So this video is going to be made in collaboration with Pro Guides. If you're serious about getting into a high rank this upcoming season, make sure to get a Pro Guides membership. They have everything you need to know to get into a high division off of your placements. I have a link to their website down below for a free trial. Definitely check it out. But diving right into the topic of this video, let's talk about the worst champion in League of Legends, and that champion is going to be none other than Nunu. I'm sure most of you haven't even really heard that name in quite some time, but for very good reason. I mean, this champion is just extremely bad. There's a reason why Nunu is used as the champion to troll people when you do Disco Nunu, where you go something like before, at least clairvoyance or clarity with something troll, because this champion honestly at the moment is just so bad that if you ever pick him, you probably just lowered your team's chances of winning by at least 30%. Even taking a look at the win rates, I mean, looking at the three roles that he's even played at, being jungle, top lane, and support, and I mean, he's not even that good in top lane to begin with. For jungle, you can see that his win rate is actually really bad. In the top lane, Nunu is sitting at a measly 41% win rate, being the lowest of all top lane champions, number 56 out of, you guessed it, 56. And the final role that he's actually played at, or is at least not completely troll at, is going to be support. But funny enough, he's actually the worst support just as well, sitting at a 39% win rate, number 34 of course, 34. Now, just what makes Nunu so insanely bad? Why is he literally the worst champion in League of Legends, the worst champion in all three roles that he's played at? Well, first and foremost, I mean, his kit is extremely outdated. It is exceptionally old. Nunu has been around for such a long time, and as League of Legends is evolving, as other champions are evolving, getting reworks, as other champions being released, the new ones, for instance, are getting, these really kind of fresh, new, innovative kits, Nunu's kit just becomes worse and worse and worse. And even though Riot tries to do these, very small mini reworks for him here and there, which they haven't for a long time, it helps him a bit, but then he just goes back into the old pattern of just being completely of an outdated champion. He doesn't really have a whole lot of complexity in his kit. He's extremely linear. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of outplay potential. You know exactly what a Nunu is going to do when you see him running in there. I mean, sometimes you can't do a whole lot about it, but you know exactly what he'll do because he literally only has one option. Throw his snowball at you, run up, auto attack you a few times, throw the snowball, maybe throw in an ultimate, and just essentially rinse and repeat. He used to be the god at counter jungling, but at the moment, I mean, he probably loses the 1v1 to almost every single jungler that is currently meta. It also pretty much gets to the point where if you want to play a support champion that's melee, that can initiate and brings a lot of CC and utility and all that stuff, I mean, why not just play someone maybe like Alistar, someone like Leona, someone like Taric? If you want the top lane champion that can split push or adds a lot of tankiness to the team and a nice kind of frontline utility CC and whatnot, I mean, why play Nunu when you can play maybe someone like Malphite, maybe someone like Yorick, Maokai, or even someone like Ornn? And same thing with a jungle. I mean, why play Nunu when you can play someone like Rammus, Shyvana, Xin Zhao, Warwick, Sejuani? He really doesn't add anything to the table. His kit again is just super outdated. It's extremely linear. He's really obvious as to what he's going to do and when he's going to do it. And on top of this, if you want to play a jungler that adds utility and CC and all that stuff, I mean, why not just play Ivern? He's pretty much just a better version. Now that right there is reason number one as to why Nunu is just the lowest and worst champion in the League of Legends. But I mean, I kind of bring up another proposition as to maybe, just maybe, why his win rate is so abysmal. Maybe just because, he is a boring champion, right? Nunu isn't the most exciting champion. Like I said, he's probably one of the most linear and one-dimensional champions in League of Legends as of right now. Used to be Warwick, but ever since Warwick got reworked, he's a lot more interesting and intuitive and all that stuff. Now Nunu definitely needs a rework. But at the same time, I mean, in an awkward sort of ironic way, maybe because Nunu is so one-dimensional, he actually requires much more thinking and thought process to actually play properly. Because he's so one-dimensional, you have to do things that people won't expect. You have to keep changing your playstyle and your gameplay and all that stuff almost every single game and what you're gonna do, and just heavily heavily mind gaming your opponents, which is not easy to do. So it's kind of a weird, ironic thing to say almost, because Nunu, like I said, is so simple and so linear, but at the same time probably is also in a way the hardest when it comes to mind games and actually counter jungling properly. That's just a combination as to why he's maybe just such a bad champion and just such a bad win rate. Because of the simplicity of his skill, he requires the most work to get the same job done as most other champions. That just simply doesn't usually always work. But all in all, I mean, the point of this video is just essentially to let you guys know that Nunu is very, very bad. He definitely needs some help. I mean, Riot needs a buff or something, or a rework or something for him. And Nunu, if you get him on your team, you want to dodge most likely. I mean, you're probably going to lose that game. This guy isn't going to be doing a whole lot unless this person playing him is just an absolute god of the champion. And I also wanted to see what you guys would say is the worst champion in your opinion in League of Legends as of right now during the preseason and the new runes. Hey guys, just to add a bit more to this video, I actually made the initial Nunu video talking about how bad he is and how he's the worst champion and how he's essentially the one champion you want to dodge whenever you have him on your team, especially in season 8, the first week, while we're all doing placements and whatnot. You just essentially dodge on side, right? Because you probably will lose the game with a Nunu on your team. If they have Nunu on the enemy team, well, you have to pretty much play pretty poorly to lose. But the second, or rather, I made that video about 2 weeks ago, but I just haven't uploaded it yet. I'm kind of waiting for the time. However, yesterday, today is January 12th as I'm recording this segment right here of the video. Yesterday, I believe, January 11th, they actually released a pretty big buff to Nunu on the PvE server, which will not be coming to the live servers until a week after Season 8 rank itself has started. So, after rank reset. So there's still a week worth of Nunu just being the worst champion in Season 8 rank that you want to dodge. But after these buffs hit the live servers, it actually could be pretty decent. I mean, I feel like this will definitely help him and increase his win rate. And if it doesn't, then my goodness, to see a lost cause. So his base AD is being increased by 3, which isn't too bad for his early jungle clear. I mean, okay, it'll help a bit. His consume has a new effect, well fed, and now additionally grants up to 11 plus 5% magic damage on basic attacks. Run some attack speed, masteries, get some attack speed, maybe a build or something like that. That could be pretty spicy, right? Which is really, really good. And also you have a Blood Boil, which is, I think, really overpowered. A new effect as well, essentially pretty much like a Nunu rework almost. Now additionally increases AP by 40% for both targets. Now this says the max, aka like this 40% increase for both targets can't go over actually increasing their AP by 120, for instance. So the maximum it'll offer is 120 AP, even if the 40% on like your your mid laner that you use Blood Boil on can technically make it more. 120 is the cap in rank 5, but this is pretty overpowered, right? I mean, this will give not only imagine Nunu and Azir, right? Nunu jungle, Azir mid lane. That is probably going to be one of the best, most just disgusting combos in, I guess, that patch 8.2, when this finally hits the live servers. So the heat of Nunu will still increase their ability power by 40%, move speed by 8%, and attack speed by 25%. Azir benefits off of both attack speed, which obviously in turn increases the damage his soldiers do, and AP, right? Both of those, they both increase the damage Azir does, and it's very consistent damage as well, which I think will be pretty overpowered. So there's a pretty big buff coming over to Nunu, which again, if it hits, or rather, well, if it actually does make it to the live servers, because nothing here is set in stone for sure, it can be removed before all we know. But if this actually makes it to the live servers next patch 8.2, a week after rank resets, then Nunu is going to go from being literally the shittiest champion in League of Legends, to where you just literally dodge on sight, to being pretty damn good, actually. I mean, again, combining with someone like Azir or many other mid laners, and just in general, just this in itself is already pretty good to help him, clear a bit better and just have a bit more consistent kind of reliable damage, rather than just throwing the snowball and pretty much being useless from then on forth until you throw another snowball. I think we'll actually put him in a pretty decent spot. So I wanted to add this sort of part of this to the end of the video here, because again, I do talk about how Nunu needs a buff and how Nunu needs some help, and either a rework or a buff, or whatever. He's getting like a little bit of a mini rework, we'll say, and a pretty big buff, obviously, with that little mini rework he's receiving. So yeah, obviously I'll add this at the end of the video because it's pretty important. It's very relatable and on topic and whatnot. So yeah, and as you guys can see here, this is literally, like, right now, this part of the video is actually literally 2-3 weeks after the part where I talked about Nunu with showing those old win rates. And if you look at him now on Champion GG, he's still sitting at the lowest win rate top lane, 56 out of 56, now at 38%. Jungle Nunu is still sitting at 47 out of 48, placement wise. 46% win rate, which is pretty bad, and I feel like he's not even listed as a support anymore, because there's no support role for him anymore, because he's probably just so bad at support that the support role was literally just removed off of Champion GG with Nunu. It's no longer associated with Nunu, because I mean, no one plays him in support anymore, to the point where, like, I mean, for obvious reasons, he's insanely bad. He was by far the worst support. And yeah, so even 2-3 weeks later, he is still in the exact same spot as when I made the video initially, showing those win rates 2-3 weeks earlier, right? So it's weird. It's weird. He's not a good champion. Hopefully the buffs will actually change that. But that's gonna be about it for this video, guys. I mean, there you have it. Just a quick discussion topic kind of video. I like to make these every now and then and talk to you guys about something interesting in League of Legends as a whole. Let me know what you think about it down below. If you enjoyed the video, definitely hit it with that like button. But I'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.